My name is Melanie Ott. I am the director of the Gladstone Institute of Virology. I'm also a professor of medicine here at UCSF.
So looking at the field of HIV research today, where do you see the greatest unmet needs?
Maybe the greatest unmet needs have shifted a little bit in the last few weeks. I think we have a very robust HIV research program here in the US. I think it has always been exemplary for the rest of the world. I think there was a lot of emphasis on sticking with it until the end, until the cure. And I think this is still a very important aspect of it. I think we both know that we're still missing a vaccine, which would make a huge difference in the world. I would say we also cannot ignore the global south and withdraw our support there. I think we have been really again an example to the world in helping to get Africa under treatment and with the PEPFAR program. And I think this is something, if it would fall away from one day to the other, which would not only cause Africa and African people great problems, but also us, because the virus will be basically allowed to run free, evolve and develop. And we have all seen this with COVID and all the variants that are constantly arising. If you let a virus go free somewhere, I think more dangerous viruses are coming out of it.
How do you see the intersection of HIV research with other infectious diseases?
I think this is a very important question and very close to my heart. For example, HIV is a chronic disease. It's a virus that integrates into our genome that is not going away. It, causes issues over time. And now we have, for example, COVID, which is a disease that gets cleared, but still we have a lot of people with long COVID that have very similar symptoms sometimes, or underlying immune dysfunctions that we have seen in HIV, for example. There's sort of broad lessons that we can learn that apply to every viral disease, but there are also very specialized lessons that we can learn from HIV. And I would say HIV has been really paving the way for antivirals to become really a pillar of treatment for viruses. I think it was still, thought that viruses are mainly countered with vaccination, but now we know that antivirals play a huge role because they have been instrumental in HIV, but the vaccine is still unfortunately outstanding. Other examples are the use of broadly neutralizing antibodies, also very largely pioneered in HIV, and now also, of course, deployed and generated for many other dangerous viruses.
I would add also T-cell biology. So every time we're studying how HIV behaves in a host cells, which is typically a T-cell, we are learning something also regarding the biology and immunology of those T-cells, which have huge implications in other fields of research, cancer and autoimmune disease, just to mention a couple.
Well, CAR T cells were originally developed for HIV, and now they're a huge pillar in anti-cancer therapy, and I think wonderful. And it just shows that a robust and long-term research investment into one virus is not only benefiting that one virus, but it's also benefiting other virus research, emerging viruses that are coming, but also other fields of biology and medicine that are benefiting.
I know that your lab has started doing a little bit of work on artificial intelligence. I know that you've been looking into this field. So I was wondering, how do you envision the role of AI, precision medicine in general, and all sort of emerging technologies and accelerating the field of HIV research?
I think we have probably the fastest acceleration of knowledge that we're generating currently, because we have huge amount of possibilities on generating data. We have, the whole sequencing, revolution that has taken place over the last few years, where we're going from sequencing one genome for $3 billion to sequencing now many genomes for about $300 per genome. So we're sitting on an enormous amount of valuable data and information that we need the technologies for, like AI, to actually, take full advantage of it and translate this into, tangible therapies or information for vaccines or other things. We have a whole data science institute here at Gladstone that is really leading here in that area. So I think there is definitely a lot of movement. I think we have also started very early to reach out to our technology partners in Silicon Valley. We have a close collaboration with Google on multiple fronts on different areas. And I think all this is important for us to, again, make sure that we maximize what we can do with data and biology here in order to make a difference for people who are affected with the diseases.
How would you characterize, in your own experience, supporting and helping amfAR, as you've done in the years, the work that amfAR has done in HIV research over the years or since you've been involved with amfAR?
I think is a very important thing, because as we all know, the grants that we get from NIH are usually grants that are very, very certain and de-risks, where basically everything is already done. That is good because it gives you some stability, but at the same time, I think we need amfAR and, to really help fund these early projects, to take risks. They might not be successful, but there might be a very high promise, and I think we cannot do without it. I've always admired amfAR for their focus on young people, on emerging talent, because I think this is something that is absolutely critical for research on HIV and others to thrive and to continue to attract the best talent that is out there.
And so, one final question. If you could make, let's say, one bold prediction about HIV research by the end of 2025, what could that be?
I would not be surprised if in the next 1 to 2 years, we will see really innovative, new, additions to the current treatment, opportunities that we have. And that can go into many different directions. It can go into the immunology direction. There's a lot of research ongoing there on broadly neutralizing antibodies. I would say the cure research on the molecular level is very exciting currently. But I think we have so much in the pipeline currently due to sustainable funding and organizations like amfAR taking risks and putting and betting on new ideas. I think we're much more open to gene therapy approaches, which were sort of a little bit science fiction in the past, but we have now approved gene therapy approaches. CRISPR is definitively making a change in the acceptance here and in the precision. So I think there is a lot of options on the table now that I think open up real tangible opportunities. And I think we will potentially have to combine different approaches to make them really effective.
Well, Melanie, thank you so much for spending time with us, for explaining us your research, and I'm looking forward to keep working with you in the future.